Hello dear students. Today we're going to study a very important chapter of class 6 science, that is fiber to fabric. Now students, this chapter is very easy but requires constant revision and concentration. Now that means that if you're not concentrated and if you do not constantly revise this chapter, it is going to be difficult for you to attempt the questions from this chapter in your examinations. But don't you worry, we are going to study this chapter in detail to understand the concepts thoroughly. Now let me start this video by asking you a simple question. Have you ever observed a thread? How thin is it? So thin that you have to focus carefully if you wish to put that thread in a needle, right? Now, what if I tell you that these threads are made up of even thinner units? Yes, these threads are made up of even thinner units. Surprised? Well, today in this class, we are going to study about these thinner units. Let's start with the video. Introduction to fiber and fabric. Now let us first understand what is a fiber. Remember when I told you about a thread? And I told you that this thread is made up of even thinner units. Right? Now students, these thinner units are known as fibers. That is what is written in the first point. The thin strands of a thread that we see are made up of still thinner strands called fibers. Clear? Okay. Now, these fibers, when combined together, form yarns. Okay. And these yarns, when combined together, form fabrics. That is what is written in the second point. Fabrics are made up of yarns and yarns are made up of fibers. Okay, observe it here in the flow chart. Fabrics are made up of yarns and yarns are made up of fibers. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay, now let us discuss the classification of fibers. So on the basis of their source, fibers are classified into three major categories, that are from unnatural sources, from animals and from plants. Students also note that some of the fibers are extracted from animals and from plants, both of them. Okay, now we are going to discuss these classifications in detail. The fibers of some fabrics such as cotton, jute, silk and wool are obtained from plants and animals. So that means that they are referring to what category here? What classification? This classification, right? These are called natural fibers. So now we know that the fibers extracted from both plants and animals are known as natural fibers. Okay. Okay. Now, cotton and jute are examples of fibers obtained from plants. So now we have examples of this category also. What are the examples? Cotton and jute. Okay. Wool and silk fibers are obtained from animals. Now we have examples of this category also. Wool and silk. Right. Wool is obtained from the fleece of sheep or goat and from the hair of rabbits, yak and camels. Now we know the source, which is majorly animals, but from where? From the fleece of sheep and goat and from the hair of rabbits, yak and camels. Okay, now we have discussed wool in detail. Let us discuss silk fibers also. Silk fiber is drawn from the cocoon of silkworm. Okay, so this is what? This is the source now. Silkworm and cocoon, right? fibers are also made from substances that are neither plant or animal sources. Now, students, we know that we have discussed both the categories from animals, from plants, and we have also discussed the category that includes both of them, which is natural fibers. Let's talk about unnatural fibers now. Okay. So, the fibers that are neither plant-based or animal-based are known as synthetic fibers. Okay. So, these are what? Unnatural fibers. Similarly, here I can write synthetic fibers. Right? Okay. Some examples of synthetic fibers are polyester, nylon, and acrylic. So, what are the examples of synthetic fibers? Polyester, nylon, and acrylic. These fibers are man-made. Okay, these are not natural, hence they are unnatural fibers. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay, now let us discuss some plant fibers in detail. Starting with the first plant, which is cotton. It is grown on fields. Cotton plants are usually grown at places having black soil and warm climate. Now, there are two major questions that can come from this. Okay, for a 1 mark question, it can be followed up by two sub questions that are what is the type of soil in which cotton is grown and what is the type of climate in which cotton is grown. So we know the type of soil in which cotton is grown is black soil and the type of climate in which cotton is grown is known as warm climate. Okay. Now, the fruits of cotton plant are also known as cotton balls, are about the size of lemons. Now, they're comparing lemons to cotton balls. Okay, that means that they're of the same size. After maturing, the balls burst and the seeds covered with cotton fibers can be seen. Okay. Now, if you look at this picture here, this is a cotton plant. Okay. And this is a cotton ball. Okay. Now, this cotton ball bursts. Okay. And produces seeds. These seeds have fibers associated with them. Okay, these that you see here are what? These are fibers. Okay, let us see what happens to these fibers now. Now, from these balls, cotton is usually picked by hand. Okay, cotton is usually picked by hand. Fibers are then separated from the seeds by combing. Okay, these fibers, what happened to these fibers here? What happened to these fibers here? These fibers are separated from the seeds by combing. Okay, and this process is known as ginning of cotton. Very, very important. A question can come from this point. Okay, now let me summarize this for you. Look here. I have a cotton ball. Right. Now this cotton ball bursts. Right. And it produces seeds. These seeds have what? These seeds have fibers associated with them. Right. Now these fibers, what happens to these fibers? These fibers are then separated. Okay. From these seeds. Okay. Now this separation process is known as ginning of cotton. This process is known as ginning of cotton. I hope this is clear to you all. Okay, what happens? I will repeat again. We have a cotton ball. This cotton ball bursts and it produces seeds. Now these seeds have fibers associated with them. So these fibers are then further separated to form what? To form yarns, right? And this process is known as ginning of cotton. Okay. Now let us move on to the next plant, which is jute. Jute fibers are obtained from the stem of the jute plant. Remember, this is the jute plant here in this picture, and this is the young stem of the jute plant. We get fibers of the jute plant from here. Okay, very important. It is cultivated during the rainy season. So again, a question can arise. In what season jute is cultivated? In the rainy season. Okay. Jute is mainly grown in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. So we have three major regions in which jute is grown, that are West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. Okay. The jute plant is normally harvested when it is at the flowering stage. Okay, that means that whenever the jute plant has flowers, it is harvested. Okay, the stems, roots and fibers are separated by hand. Again, just like the cotton plant, they are also separated by hand. To make the fabrics, all these fibers are first converted into yarns. We know this, right? We have studied this before, that fibers are converted to form yarns, and yarns are converted to form fabrics, right? We already know this. Okay. Okay students, I hope you people have now understood what we discussed in this video. To know more about this topic, you can join the EduRev Infinity Plan. Log into your Class 6 Science section, check out the chapter Fiber to Fabric, unlock the locked videos, documents and test series in less than 80 rupees a month. In the next video, we will study the process of converting fiber to fabric. Thank you.